How old were you when you made your first feature film?
I was 23 years old. I had watched Kevin Smith in high school, maybe 22. I'd watched Kevin Smith, Rodriguez, Richard Linklater, all these guys come up like, I made my film between $7,000 and $25,000. I just maxed my credit card, sold my comic books, sold my car, and then I put it in Sundance and signed $1 million deal with Miramax. And went, oh, that's all it takes? I can come up with $25,000, and then fail miserably. Because what they leave out of all those glossy stories is you have to make an amazing movie. And making an amazing movie for no money when you have no idea what you're doing is next to impossible. So the people who have done it are in some very rarefied air. And they're where they are because they had that raw talent and raw ability right out of the gate. But what that gave me, I always say failure is the best teacher. And that was, we made a movie that was passable and I enjoyed it. I'm still very proud of it, but we had no idea how to sell it. We didn't get into Sundance. What do you do then if that was your one and only goal? Being a kid from Canada, living in the dark ages of like limited internet, and we didn't have Facebook and social media and Film Freeway and all these wonderful things to know about. A lot of these film festivals that exist today didn't exist then. Like we had no idea what we were doing. So it was a lack of education in how the business works, a lack of understanding that just because you made a movie, it has nothing to do with if people will ever see it or buy it or even know it exists. It was a movie that it taught me the basics of how to make a movie. It was creative, it was fun. It excited me enough to go make another one, but it was a complete disaster in terms of actually ever getting to market or making something that was of quality enough for people to embrace.
What was it about?
It was about it's called Leaving Town. It was about three young people, like just sort of post high school into college, where life's just not working out for three very different reasons, that all end up just serendipitously running into a bar in their hometown. And one of them's got a much darker secret that he hasn't told the other two. And he proposes, well, we should rob the local bank and leave town forever. Which they do, and then one thing after another continues to not work out. And the irony of the title is they may or may not even get out of town by the end of it. And was it worth it to ultimately ruin their lives way worse than they started with?
So what did your perceived failure of it, whether it was a failure or not, what did that teach you?
It taught me that I was going to have to learn a lot more about the business end and how distribution works. And we were shooting on the amazing camera at the time, the DVX 100. That was the first camera that came out that shot 24 frames a second. It mimicked film, had a beautiful look to it, but it was still pretty independent. It wasn't 16 millimeter film. It wasn't 35. Involved a lot more post work than we really knew what we were doing to achieve a quality look with it. But it was mostly the business end of things, just not knowing, living in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and not knowing a single person of how to. We also had a very depressing moment where we had lightning. We think it was a lightning strike or a power surge, but something in our office fried the computer and fried the hard drive, and the backup copy had been copied over with wedding footage that somebody at the company had filmed a family wedding with, so we didn't have the backup suddenly. So the film had to be re-edited from scratch, which was a major setback. And that set us back a good year and a half, because then we could only edit it in our spare time and got it finished again. And I think just a lot of people, just the love and the excitement was gone. And that's a hard lesson to learn, that if you're going to commit to doing independent film, it's years of your life. You've got to be there to the bitter end, till every last possible interview, sale, screening, spending more money on film festivals. That was part of it too. We raised enough money to make the movie, to shoot it, but then you don't realize how expensive proper post is. We hadn't researched that, or what it's going to take to transfer to film to send to festivals at the time, or even get the cost of submitting to film festivals or traveling to them. It was all things that were beyond our comprehension. And ultimately it was, can't really make a movie for $25,000. You can get it done, but you can't. There's a lot more to it that is necessary to get it out there.
Did you edit it?
I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Even
Yeah,
the second
I
time?
co-edited with that one. I co-wrote, co-directed, and co-edited. So I only had 50% of the heartache from that one.